Hello from the quarantine. My name is Hannah, and this is my video discussion for Module 10 for Pseudoscience with Dr. Schwartz. This week we were asked to read a study by Daniel Gilbert that was published in 1993 that was talking about the truth bias and how it's impacted by the things we read, as well as things that intervene while we read them. He started his article by discussing different assertions by Descartes and Spinoza, who are philosophers, about whether we can comprehend assertions without believing them, and conducted several experiments on female subjects that included showing them different statements with both false statements and true statements in different colors, as well as strings of digits to kind of interrupt their reading and maybe add more things that their brain had to focus on subconsciously or semi-consciously. The conclusions that he got was that in the interrupted subjects with the digits, they were more likely to believe the false statements, which proved that our minds are more prone to distractions, and these distractions can lead us to believe things that we are told are false. I do believe that the findings of Gilbert's study still apply today in some ways, mostly because we see these trends in the media that we consume and different panic that populations have because of the media that we consume and the things that they put out. For example, like in this quarantine, there's a lot of false information spreading, and unfortunately, the more we read about it, the more panicked we get about it, which leads us to believe things that we might not research all the way through. I also believe that it does highlight vulnerability to pseudoscience because, again, the more false information we read, the more prone we are to believe it, just because sometimes we believe quantity over quality and don't do checks and balances on the things we read on a day-to-day basis. Like stated in Gilbert's study, repeated exposure to false assertions or assertions that there are no evidence behind will increase our likelihood of believing them, regardless or not of whether they're true. I believe there's a lot of different implications to Gilbert's studies and conclusions. The one I thought of, besides, of course, the quarantine and COVID-19, was like politics and the ways that different ads are presented to villainize opposing parties. Like in the 2016 election, there was a lot of anti-Hillary propaganda and commercials that the Trump party put out. And even if some of the statements were true, they were very upplayed. And the more we were exposed to them, the more the general population would believe those statements.